4 years ago when I stood on this stage, I said that I would cut taxes for middle-class families. And that's exactly what I did. We cut taxes for middle-class families by about $3,600. And the reason is because I believe that we do best when the middle class is doing well. And by giving them those tax cuts, they have a little more money in their pocket. And so maybe they can buy a new car. They are certainly in a better position to weather the extraordinary recession that we went through. They can buy a computer for their kid who's going off to college, which means they're spending more money, businesses have more customers, businesses make more profits, and then hire more workers. Now, Governor Romney's proposal that he's been promoting for 18 months calls for a $5 trillion tax cut on top of $2 trillion of additional spending for our military. And he is saying that he is going to pay for it by closing loopholes and deductions. The problem is that he's been asked over 100 times how you would close those deductions and loopholes, and he hasn't been able to identify them. But I'm going to make an important point here, Jim. When you add up all the loopholes and deductions that upper income individuals are currently taking advantage of, you take those all away, you don't come close to paying for $5 trillion in tax cuts and $2 trillion in additional military spending. And that's why independent studies looking at this said the only way to meet Governor Romney's pledge of not reducing the deficit or not adding to the deficit is by burdening middle-class families. The average middle-class family with children would pay about $2,000 more. Now, that's not my analysis. That's the analysis of economists who have looked at this. And that kind of top-down economics where folks at the top are doing well, so the average person making $3 million is getting a $250,000 tax break, while middle-class families are burdened further, that's not what I believe is a recipe for economic growth.
All right. What is the difference? Let's just stay on taxes.
Right.
Yeah, let's just stay on taxes for a moment.
Well, but
What is the difference?
virtually everything he just said about my tax plan is inaccurate.
All right, go
So if the tax plan he described were a tax plan I was asked to support, I'd say absolutely not.
Okay, right up straight up first, Obama's for the middle class and Romney's for the middle class. They're both for the middle class. So, all right, what's the difference? They're both tax cuts for the middle class. I don't see a difference. Or, I don't see a difference. One wants to increase taxes, one wants to decrease taxes. They're both saying they want to decrease taxes. So, and again, Obama just keeps talking about this $5 trillion. And Romney's like saying, I don't have this. I will not approve this. Let me continue.
I'm not looking for a $5 trillion tax cut. What I've said is I won't put in place a tax cut that adds to the deficit. That's part one. So there's no economist can say Mitt Romney's tax plan adds $5 trillion if I say I will not add to the deficit with my tax plan. Number two, I will not reduce the share paid by high-income individuals. I know that you and your running mate keep saying that, and I know it's a popular thing to say with a lot of people, but it's just not the case. Look, I got 5 boys. I'm used to people saying something that's not always true, but just keep on repeating it and ultimately hoping I'll believe it. But that is not the case, all right? I will not reduce the taxes paid by high-income Americans.
Hold on 1 second here. If you keep repeating something, people will believe it. Okay, well, let's go back to where I first heard this statement. It goes back to when we talk about Rome, Catholicism, when Vatican Council 1. And they just kept repeating stuff like the Bible was the true word of God, and that's how we got the Bible. So, just to edit out all the stuff we needed to hear, all the stuff we did not need to hear about like aliens, or what the History Channel says is true about the Bible. I really have a lot of sits. Yeah. That's where I first heard it. So they're telling me that, well, people just kept on saying that God was God, and then eventually that's what happened. That's what Romney just said. Well, $5 trillion, oh, then yeah, that's $5 trillion. So everybody believes that. Personally, Obama, he did kind of scare me. What if Romney really is doing a $5 trillion? That was I don't know. That It's confusing. I'm scared. Let me go back.
And number three, I will not, under any circumstances, raise taxes on middle-income families. I will lower taxes on middle-income families. Now, you cite a study. There's 6 other studies that looked at the study you described and say it's completely wrong. I saw a study that came out today that said you're going to raise taxes by $3,000 to $4,000 on middle-income families. There are all these studies out there. But let's get to the bottom line. That is, I want to bring down rates. I want to bring the rates down, at the same time lower deductions and exemptions and credits and so forth, so we keep getting the revenue we need. And you think, well, then why lower the rates? And the reason is because small business pays that individual rate. 54% of America's workers work in businesses that are taxed not at the corporate tax rate, but at the individual tax rate. And if we lower that rate, they will be able to hire more people. For me, this is about jobs.
Right.
This is about
That's
getting
where we
jobs
started.
for the American people.
Yeah. You challenge what the governor just said about his own plan?
Well,
Well, he just clear up said for middle class he's going to lower taxes. And now he's saying that Obama's raising taxes like 4,000. Obama is about to say something important about taxes because he's saying like Romney's position is Obama wants to raise taxes. That's the way to fix the economy. But he knows no, you have to like lower taxes and create more opportunities for people. So that if they work more, then there'll be more taxes anyway because they'll be paying more taxes. But if you just raise taxes, then there's going to be less people working because they're not making as much. That's what like Romney's saying. Now I'm going back to Obama. We got to find another song.